TTM Trades. I just wanted to record a quick video. I haven't recorded one in quite some time. I was kind of waiting on my last call to kind of play out and then just kind of see what happened once it played out and where we would possibly go from there. So my very last post, posted back on March 20th, that we should see about a 393 to 394 bounce, which we finally got today, which this is where we took our initial calls at. We finally got to 393 to 394. We hit 394 exactly, and then had rejection to push us back down to 392. So here's that 394. And as you can see, when I was calling the 394, I was referencing the 2 hours chart middle BB right here, which is exactly where we pushed up at, and then got that rejection and kind of pull back lower. So what do I expect to kind of happen here? The market is kind of sitting in a real neutral position, but a strong area of resistance right now is sitting at 394 with a 2 hours chart. Middle BB is sitting at, which also coordinates with the daily chart's top one standard deviation. Now, again, remember, in order for a stock to get and or be in a strong uptrend, you want it to break above that top one standard deviation Bollinger Band on the daily chart, and you want it to trend upwards, as you see here on multiple occasions in the past on a ticker SPY. But we did pull back to that middle BB on the daily chart, found that line of support, and then rallied back to the top one standard deviation, where we got some slight rejection today. But for the most part, the daily chart did close a little bit, well, closer to the high than it did the low. All right, so shifting 2 hour chart over and the 30-minute chart over, this is kind of what we're looking at, okay? And I don't quite believe in any of the moves to the upside yet, because if you look again at the daily chart, the PMO is creating lower lows and it has not crossed back over, and it's below both its averages, as you can see here. All right. So there's not a lot of buying power and or momentum, which has helped the daily charts PMO to cross back over. All right. Even on the 2 hour chart on the intraday time frame, the 2 hour chart had this rally that started back on March 8th and ran all the way up to that 398 window. And even on that rally, it did pull the PMO up slightly, but that rally wasn't strong enough. There wasn't a lot of volume or buying power behind that to fully cross the PMO over and get it back above its averages. So on a day-to-day basis, the overall trend is still pretty weak. All right. Now, what we need to see happen, just looking at the 2 hour chart as I bring this back up on the right-hand side and the 30-minute back up on the left-hand side, we're looking at a key level of resistance and a key level of support. A key level of resistance is sitting right here on the 2 hour chart at 394, and that key area of support is sitting right here at 387. Now, the 2 hour chart PMO has already crossed over and is trending downwards. It is in bull territory and it is above both its averages. So this puts the 2 hour chart in a consolidation cycle to where it's holding these averages. But if we fail that 387 or 388 on strong volume, that will put the 2 hour chart into a strong downtrend, which will carry over into the daily chart for us to push back down to these old support levels. Now, if we get above 394 on strong volume and start trending upwards, then that would set the daily chart up to start its continued uptrend. All right, so just going on a bigger time frame, looking at the weekly to the right and daily to the left. Okay, just looking at the weekly chart, we know that key area of support, which is held that top one standard deviation, which has been holding since early this year, January, is currently sitting at 385.48. So key area of support. If we lose that 385 again, then that leaves a lot of room on a week-to-week basis for us to float down here and flirt with that middle BB, which is currently sitting at 364 to 365. So again, key levels to watch, keep an eye on intraday is, again, 2 hours chart intraday. Traders are looking at 387 or 388. We lose that 387 or 388, then that sets us up to violate the weekly's chart. Top one standard deviation currently sitting at 385. We violate that 385, then we head back down to test these old support levels. All right, so 394, we need to break above. 387 to 388, we need to break below, depending on if you're a bear or a bull. Myself, personally, the overall setup It's kind of looking bearish, but I will be watching these two levels of support and resistance. We have been playing the minor swings. Today we took, again, like I said, we took that that original bounce here. We took that 387, 388 up to 394. 5-minute chart, we got the early signal on that. As we got down to this key support level, I was looking for some support on the 5-minute chart, hence why I posted. We should get a 393 to 394 bounce, because as we started getting down to this 150 period SMA, we found some support levels, and you can see the price action on the 5-minute chart. Once it got down in that area, it was trending downwards below the bottom 1 standard deviation Bollinger Band. It immediately broke above that bottom 1 standard deviation when it pulled back to test for a double bottom and stayed within the bands, and then got another bounce back above the middle BB on the 5-minute chart. So this is where we took our calls to the upside. Now, again, as we was taking these to the upside, again, on the last post, I said 393 to 394. What I was looking for is waiting for us to get to 394. Once we got right here, and I seen this drop right here on the 5-minute chart, again, me just seeing this little drop right here, I went ahead and closed my position out because I thought we was going to pull back a little. I thought we was going to pull back right at that moment, but we did get another breakout here to get up in this area, and I was waiting on some failure or a strong selling volume to take puts. And then once I got this candle right here, this 5-minute candle right here, this is where we took the puts to the downside, and we've been riding this one down, and we're still holding those puts. But again, I'm watching that 387 to 388 and that 393 to 394. But right now we're holding puts back to the downside. If we get above that 394, I'm taking calls. If we attempt that 394 again and fail, I'll continue to hold my puts and ride this back down to old support levels. TTM Trades.